Have you ever wanted to build your own website, but you always assumed it was like something only developers could do? And that's right, it used to be the case many years ago, but today the process is much more beginner friendly. And with the right platform, you can design and launch a professional website without ever touching a single line of code. And that platform is WordPress, which does power a huge portion of the internet today. Millions of websites, from personal blogs to large business sites, those are all powered and built using WordPress because it is flexible, it is powerful, and surprisingly, it's easier to use now. Instead of writing code, you can just build pages visually by dragging and arranging elements the way that you want. So you can think of WordPress like a set of digital building blocks. Themes control the look of your site, plugins add new features, and page builders allow you to design layouts visually. And then we put these pieces together and you can create almost any kind of website. And in this video, you're going to learn how to set up WordPress step by step, customize the design, add pages and features, and launch your own website, even if you are starting as a complete beginner. But before we dive in, if you do want to master WordPress in just 2 hours instead of spending 2 weeks or more figuring it out on your own, I do have a complete WordPress Pro program and a community with everything that you're going to need. The link's in the description down below, but first, let's just go ahead and get you started with the basics. A lot of beginners assume that WordPress is just one single platform. You type WordPress into Google, you click one of the first results, and then you're suddenly on a page asking you to start building your site already. And everything looks official, so it's easy to think that, hey, I'm already on the right track here. But this is actually where many people just kind of accidentally choose the wrong version. WordPress comes in 2 different flavors, and while their names sound almost identical, the experience that they offer is very different. So understanding this distinction early on can save you from limitations later when you do want more control over your website. So WordPress.com versus WordPress.org. Many people encounter WordPress.com first because it handles the technical side for you. The platform hosts your website, it manages the infrastructure, and it gives you a quick way to get started, and that's great. And while that convenience can sound appealing, it also means that you're also working inside of a controlled environment here. Certain features require upgrades, customization options can be restricted, and you are immediately building within the boundaries set by the platform. WordPress.org works differently. You download the WordPress software and then you run it on your own hosting account. And this approach gives you the full ownership of your website and complete flexibility. You can install any theme that you want, you can add powerful plugins, you can customize the design and even modify the code if needed, and you know how. So it's that freedom that is the reason why most tutorials and developers recommend WordPress.org for building serious websites. The distinction matters because it affects both cost and control. With WordPress.com, extra features often come through paid upgrades, while WordPress.org allows you to build and customize your site freely while only paying for hosting. So choosing the correct version from the very start makes the entire website building process a lot smoother and prevents you from having to migrate your site later on. Getting started with WordPress.org is actually much simpler than most beginners expect. You don't need expensive software, complicated tools, or advanced technical knowledge at all. In fact, setting up a WordPress website only requires 3 basic pieces. Once these are in place, you're going to have everything that you need to launch your site and start building pages. So the first piece is web hosting, and hosting is essentially the place where your website lives on the internet. So think of it as renting space on a computer that stays online 24 hours a day so that visitors can access your site anytime. And whenever someone types your website address into their browser, well, the hosting server then delivers your pages to them. And this is typically the only ongoing cost when running a WordPress site. And for most beginners, it usually costs, just say, about $3 to $4 per month. And then the second piece is your domain name. So your domain name is the address that people will type into their browser to find your website, like yourwebsite.com. It's what makes your site easy to remember and helps represent your brand or purpose online. So choosing a clear and simple name is important here because it does become a part of how people recognize your website. So the third piece is the WordPress software itself. WordPress is completely free and open source, which means anyone can download and use it. Most hosting providers make this step extremely easy, actually, by offering a one-click WordPress installation. So instead of manually configuring files or databases, you just simply click a button and voila, the platform installs automatically within minutes. A helpful tip for beginners is to register your domain and hosting together. Many hosting providers already include a free domain for the first year, which really simplifies the setup process and reduces the number of accounts that you need to manage. And once these three elements, hosting, domain, and WordPress are in place, your website foundation is ready. And from there, you'll be able to log into your dashboard, install themes, use drag and drop page builders, and start customizing your site exactly the way that you want. And now that you understand what WordPress is and what you need to get started, it is time to build the actual foundation of your website. And every website needs a place to live on the internet, and that's exactly what web hosting provides. And without hosting, your website files would just simply exist on your computer where no one else could access them. So hosting places your website on a server that runs around the clock, allowing visitors to reach your site anytime from anywhere in the world. Now, personally, I recommend Hostinger as a hosting provider. It's a popular choice for beginners because it does offer strong performance, reliable uptime, and of course, beginner-friendly tools that really do simplify the entire setup process. And many plans also include a free domain for the first year, which helps reduce initial costs while keeping everything in one place. When choosing a plan, the business plan is often the best balance for beginners. It provides enough resources to handle traffic as your website grows while still staying affordable. As you look at the available billing cycles, you'll probably notice also that longer commitments do come with, of course, bigger discounts. So paying yearly or for multi-years usually reduces the monthly cost significantly compared to, say, paying month to month. So before completing the purchase, please do try checking for available coupon codes or promotions as well. Hosting companies frequently do run special deals, and applying a discount code can reduce your first payment even further. So after you do select your plan and finish the checkout process, you can proceed to creating your Hostinger account and then gaining access to the hosting dashboard here, where your website will be managed. All right, so your domain name is the address people use to visit your website, right? It's the name that appears in the browser bar, www.something.yourwebsite.com. And it becomes a major part of how people do recognize your brand online. And simply because of this, choosing the right domain name is an important step here. So what makes a good domain name? A good domain name is usually short, easy to spell, of course, and easy to remember. So try to avoid complicated words and numbers or unusual spellings that might confuse visitors. Sticking with a familiar extension like .com is also a smart choice because it is the most widely recognized and trusted by users. During the domain registration process, search for the name that you want to use, and if it is available, great. You can add it to your hosting plan and continue to check out. Now, many hosting providers also include a free domain for the very first year, which makes the setup process a whole lot simpler and, of course, more affordable. After registering the domain, you're typically going to be asked to verify your ownership through your email. So this step is quick and it does ensure that the domain truly does belong to you. Okay, so once verification is complete, your domain will then be connected to your hosting account and will be ready to use. So now with hosting and your domain secured, the final step is installing WordPress itself. This is where things start to get pretty exciting because now you're actually creating your website. And the good news here is that modern hosting providers do make WordPress installation incredibly simple. So after signing up with Hostinger, you're going to be asked how you want to build your website. So choose WordPress as your platform, and the setup wizard will guide you through a few quick steps, including creating your WordPress login credentials. So make sure to either copy the automatically generated password or create your own secure one before moving forward. Next, you're going to be asked to choose a starting theme, and you can select create a blank site if you prefer building everything from scratch, or choose a pre-built design that you can customize later on. And many beginners do prefer starting with a pre-built template, and that's okay, because it does already provide a professional layout. Inside Hostinger's control panel, you'll also find the one-click WordPress installer that we talked about earlier. This tool handles the technical setup all automatically for you. Simply select your domain from the drop-down menu here, create your administrator username and your password, and then enter a title for your website. And once you complete these steps, Hostinger will configure everything for you all behind the scenes, and that includes the database and core WordPress files. After the installation finishes, you'll see a link here that takes you directly to now what is your WordPress dashboard. So log in using the credentials that you created earlier, and now you'll officially have access to your website's control panel. Now, one small thing to keep in mind here is that your domain may take a little bit of time to fully connect to your website. So in some cases, you might see a temporary URL while the domain finishes pointing to your hosting server. And this process is called domain propagation, and it usually completes within a few hours, no more than a day. Though it can sometimes take up to a day, but really no more than that. And once everything is connected, your website will be live and accessible, again, through your own domain name. So for this part here, we're gonna try to bring your site to life. A WordPress theme controls the visual appearance of your site, including the layout, the colors, the fonts, and overall style. It doesn't change your content, but it does simply determine how that content is displayed to your visitors. And for beginners, Astra is a great theme to start with. It's fast, it's beginner friendly, and it works well with most page builders. So to install it, just go to Appearance here, then Themes in your WordPress dashboard and click Add New. In the search bar, just type Astra, then click Install and Activate, and that's it. Within seconds, your site will have a clean and professional design ready to customize. Astra is popular because it is lightweight and it is very flexible. It also includes many starter templates that do make it a lot easier to build different types of websites. And once activated, your theme now becomes the visual foundation of your site. WordPress themes have evolved a lot over the years. Older themes used to come with fixed layouts that were difficult to change. Modern themes are much more flexible and often include libraries of ready-made templates that you can import and customize. Instead of building every page from scratch, you can simply just choose a template that fits your project and replace the images and text with your own content. Page builders, say like Elementor and the Gutenberg block editor, do make this possible by allowing you to edit layouts all visually. To unlock even more functionality in WordPress, you are going to need to install some plugins. So plugins work like apps in a smartphone. They add extra features and tools that extend what your website can do. So one plugin we're going to install now is Starter Templates, which gives you access to a whole library of ready-made website designs that work perfectly with the Astra theme. So here's how to install it. We're going to go to Plugins here, then Add New in your WordPress dashboard, and that's it. Search for Starter Templates, then click Install and Activate. And once activated, a new section will appear where you can explore available templates. So while we're already here in the plugins area, it's also a good idea to remove any default plugins that you don't plan to use. Keeping your plugin list small helps maintain a faster and more stable website. Plugins are incredibly useful, but it's also important to remember not to install too many of them. Each plugin adds extra code to your site, so only keep the ones that you really actually need, and remember to update them regularly too. Next up, you do need to choose a page builder here. And for this tutorial, we're going to use Elementor because it is beginner friendly and works seamlessly with Astra. Elementor allows you to build pages visually by dragging and dropping sections, images, text, buttons, everything into place. Open the Starter Templates library here and then select Elementor as your page builder. And then from here, you can just simply browse different categories such as business websites, blogs, portfolios, and a whole lot more. Some templates are free, while others are part of a premium collection. Simply choose a template that fits your project and import it. And once the template loads, you'll have a complete website layout all ready to customize. So now that your template is imported, it is time to understand how Elementor organizes a page. And the interface may look busy, it's just at first, but the structure really follows a simple hierarchy made up of sections, columns, and widgets, those three things. So sections act as the main containers that divide the page into different areas. And inside each section are columns that control the layout. And then within those columns, you place widgets such as text blocks, images, buttons, or even videos. So this layered system really helps keep everything organized and makes it easier to control how your content appears. So here on the left side of the screen is the editing panel where you'll find widgets and settings. The right side displays the live page preview, allowing you to see changes immediately as you edit. And each widget includes tabs for content style and advanced, which allows you to edit text and media, adjust colors and fonts, or even control spacing and responsiveness. So understanding this structure will make it much easier to modify your layouts and to design your pages efficiently. All right, so let's start with the basic actions used when editing a page. To add a new section, just click the plus icon here and choose a column layout. After the section appears, you can just drag the widgets from the panel on the left directly just right onto the page. And common widgets include headings and text editors and images and buttons. Editing elements is straightforward. Clicking a text widget allows you to type or replace content immediately. And for images, just select the image widget and upload a file from your media library. Buttons can be added and linked to other pages or external URLs. Elementor also allows you to duplicate sections or widgets if you want to reuse the same layout. If an element is no longer needed, just select it and then use the trash icon to remove it. So with these basic controls, you can already create and modify most page layouts. Elementor also includes tools that help you create more refined and flexible designs. So one example is Flexbox containers, which help align elements automatically and improve layout behavior across different screen sizes. You can also switch to responsive mode to preview how your page appears on tablets and mobile devices. And doing this allows you to adjust spacing, font sizes, and layout settings for each device all individually. And beyond layout controls, Elementor also offers customization options for backgrounds, typography, and spacing. And sections can also include background images and colors or gradients, while text elements allow full control over fonts and styling. There's also subtle animations and hover effects that can also be added to buttons and sections to make the design feel a lot more interactive. So now let's apply these tools by creating a simple page layout. Now let's start by adding a hero section here up top that includes a heading, a short description, and a call to action button. So this area here usually introduces the purpose of the page and guides our visitors towards the next step. Additional sections below can then be added for text, images, and features related to your website. So we can adjust spacing, the alignment, and the layout so the content does flow naturally from top to bottom. Elementor also provides pre-designed blocks that can be inserted and customized to speed up the process. And after completing the basic layout here, your page will now already resemble a fully designed landing page. So with your pages all taking shape, it's time now to refine the overall look of your website. And one of the most important elements to customize is the header, since it's usually the first thing visitors see when they arrive on your site. And the header typically includes your logo and navigation menu, helping users quickly understand your brand and find their way around the website. So we can start by uploading your logo so it appears consistently across all of your pages. And in your WordPress dashboard here, just go to Appearance, then Customize, then Site Identity, then upload your logo image. Make sure the file is clear and properly sized so it does look sharp on both desktop and mobile screens. After adding your logo, you can also explore different header layout options provided by your theme. And many themes do allow you to adjust the position of the logo and the navigation menu. Some layouts place the logo right smack in the middle, while others align it to the left with a menu right beside it. So choose a layout that feels balanced and easy for your visitors to navigate. Taking a few moments to really customize your header here, and navigation really does help create a more polished experience and ensures that your visitors can move through your website really comfortably. A large portion of website traffic now comes from mobile devices, right? Which means that your site does need to look good and function properly on every screen size. A layout that looks perfect on a desktop can sometimes appear cramped or misaligned on a phone. And this is why responsive design is such an important part of building a modern website. Elementor makes this process much easier by allowing you to preview and edit your design for different devices. So to do that, let's just click the responsive icon here and switch between desktop, tablet, and mobile views. And each view allows you to adjust settings like the font sizes, the margins, and the padding without affecting the other layouts. Responsive design also involves a few more practical adjustments here. So columns often now stack vertically on smaller screens, and buttons should be large enough to tap comfortably. And text, of course, should remain readable without having to zoom in. And testing your website across different screen sizes helps catch those layout issues before visitors ever experience them. And in some cases, it is helpful to make mobile-specific changes. So you might want to hide larger sections or heavy images on phones to improve the loading speed. You can also add mobile-only elements such as a call button for quick contact. Elementor's Hide on Device option also makes it very easy to control what appears on each screen size. Every website should give visitors a very simple way to get in touch. A contact form provides a reliable channel for any questions, inquiries, or feedback without exposing your email address publicly. It also keeps messages organized and easy to manage from your own dashboard. So to add one, install the WPForms plugin from the plugin section in WordPress. After activation, a new WPForms tab will appear in your dashboard. So click Add New to start creating a form, then select a template such as, say, the simple contact form here. And from there, you can customize the fields by adding items like name, email, message, phone number, or a drop-down selection. Once your form is ready, embed it on a page by clicking Embed and then copying the short code. Paste this short code into your contact page where you actually want the form to appear. And you can also adjust the layout so that it matches your website's colors, of course, and the typography, helping it blend a lot more naturally with the rest of your design. Now, before moving on, submit a test message just, to make sure that everything actually works properly. So making a website look good is only really part of the process because people also need a way to find it through search engines, which is where SEO comes in. Search engine optimization helps your pages appear in search results, at least at the very top, hopefully, when users look for topics related to your content. So let's start by installing an SEO plugin. A popular option is RankMath, which provides tools for optimizing your pages and your posts. So after installing it, just activate the plugin and follow the setup wizard. If you have a Google Search Console account, then you can connect it during the process to monitor how your site performs in search results. So just follow the setup steps carefully. Inside the page or the post editor, RankMath adds fields for your snippet preview and the focus keyword. The snippet includes the title and description that appear in search results, so it is important to write clear and relevant text that reflects the content of your page. You should also check your permalink settings to make sure that your URLs are SEO friendly. The post name option is usually recommended here because it does keep links clean and descriptive. So avoid unnecessary numbers or symbols in your URLs and keep them short so that they're easier for both users and search engines to really understand. So with contact forms and SEO tools in place, your website now becomes both functional and discoverable. So plugins are often described as the Swiss Army knives of WordPress, because they do add powerful features without requiring you to write any code. So whether you do want to add a contact form or improve your search engine visibility, strengthen security even, or turn your website into an online store, plugins make it all possible with just a few clicks. The official WordPress plugin repository contains over 50,000 free plugins, and they're all each designed to extend what your website can do. And in many ways, plugins work just like the apps on our phones. You install them when you do need a specific function, and you manage them from your dashboard. So plugins generally fall into several common categories. Some focus on forms and communication, such as WPForms or Contact Form 7. Others help with search engine optimization, like RankMath or Yoast SEO. And there are also plugins designed for security, including WordPress or Security, which help protect your site from threats. There's also backup plugins like Updraft Plus or BackWP Up, help you store copies of your website, while performance plugins such as WP Rocket or W3 Total Cache improve loading speed. For anyone planning to, say, sell products online, WooCommerce, of course, can transform a standard WordPress site into a fully functional e-commerce store. For beginners, it is best to start with a small set of essential plugins rather than installing dozens at one time. A typical setup might include WPForms for contact forms, RankMath for SEO, WordFence for security, and Updraft Plus for backups. If your website grows or your needs change, then additional plugins can always be added, but later on. Keeping your plugin list organized also helps maintain a faster and more stable website. Maintaining a WordPress website is an ongoing task, but it doesn't have to be complicated. So a good way to think about it is like maintaining a car. It's small, regular checkups, keep everything running smoothly, and help prevent larger problems later on. And the most important habit here is keeping WordPress updated. So whenever a new version of the WordPress core is released, it usually includes some bug fixes, security patches, and performance improvements. Themes and then plugins should also be updated regularly. Outdated plugins can create vulnerabilities or cause compatibility issues with newer versions of WordPress. So before running updates though, it's always wise to create a backup of your site. And tools like Updraft Plus allow you to schedule automatic backups and then just store them in services such as Dropbox or Google Drive. And having a recent backup does ensure that you can restore your site quickly if in case something unexpected happens. And basic security practices also play a big role in keeping your website safe. So, of course, use strong passwords, enable two-factor authentication when possible, and limit repeated login attempts. Installing a security plugin such as, say, WordFence can add an extra layer of protection by scanning your site for potential threats. If your hosting provider offers a staging environment, testing updates there first can also help avoid disruptions on your live site. And even with proper maintenance, occasional issues can still appear. And one of the most common causes is a plugin conflict, which can happen after installing or updating a plugin. If your site suddenly breaks or behaves strangely, just start by deactivating plugins one at a time until you identify which one is causing the problem. Conflicts can also occur between themes and plugins, especially if one of them hasn't been updated for a long while. So checking compatibility and reading plugin reviews before installing major updates can really help reduce these issues. If something does go wrong and you cannot resolve it quickly, again, restoring your site from a backup is often the fastest solution. And this is why consistent backups are so important. Using a plugin like Updraft Plus, you can restore your files and database through a guided recovery process. And when troubleshooting does become difficult, the WordPress community itself can be an excellent resource. The official WordPress.org forums, plugin support pages, and developer communities contain solutions to many common problems. And searching for the error message or issue that you are facing does often lead to detailed explanations and, of course, step-by-step fixes shared by other users. Now, your website is almost ready to go live, so this is the moment to take to step back and then just review everything carefully. Going through a quick checklist before launch helps ensure visitors have a smooth experience from the very first click. So start by reviewing the content on each page. Check for spelling errors, grammar mistakes, and formatting issues that might affect readability. So make sure that your pages clearly communicate your message and guide visitors towards the actions that you want them to take on your website. It's also a good idea to optimize images and compress large files so that your site loads quickly. Next, check how your website appears on different devices. Open your site on a mobile phone and tablet to see how the layout adjusts. If any elements appear misaligned, then adjust spacing, font sizes, or images so that everything remains easy to read and navigate. Test every single interactive element as well, including contact forms, sign-up forms, and your buttons. Sending a text message helps confirm that notifications and emails are indeed working correctly. So just take those few minutes to browse your website as if you were a visitor. Move through the navigation menu, click through the links, and check that your call to action buttons are easy to find. It's also worth running a quick speed test and removing unused plugins or media files to keep your site really running efficiently. After everything looks good, your website is now ready to go live. Congrats! So if you're editing your pages in Elementor, for example, just simply click Publish to make the page visible to the public. Launching your website is only the beginning. Continuing to add content helps your site really grow and then attract visitors over time. So creating blog posts, updating pages, and adding useful information keeps your website active and relevant. Improving SEO, refining your internal links, and maintaining regular backups will also help keep your site healthy. And as your audience grows, you can just expand your website with new features, say online stores, membership areas, booking systems even, or email marketing integrations. WordPress is designed to grow alongside your ideas, allowing you to just keep building and improving your site as your needs evolve. And that's the full walkthrough. You now have the tools to build and customize and manage your very own WordPress website from start to finish. So the best way to improve from here is really simple. Just keep experimenting, keep building, and keep refining your site as you go. WordPress is flexible enough to grow with you, whatever you decide to create next. Thank you for watching and investing your time with me today. I'll see you at the next one.